Alright guys, so I want to do kind of this separate video here to review my con experience. Like I think I talked about in the third hotel video, I want to do a pros and cons of the con. So while I'm actually reviewing the footage of the videos and getting ready to edit them and post them before you'll even see this one, while it's still kind of fresh and raw, I want to go ahead and do this video. So, I haven't really prepared anything. Usually, I kind of like write up a list of things I liked, things I didn't like. So I'm gonna actually kind of go off of raw emotion to talk about this one. So, as you guys know, like I said, we've hosted a one-day con. We've been to other one-day cons. We've been to two other big 3-day cons where there were big celebrity names. So this was not anything new. However, this I wouldn't say it was the worst experience. It's the second worst. Here's the thing. At like Anime Midwest and at South Carolina Comic Con, and those two were just so very, like, at South Carolina Comic Con, you actually had to go through, you had to pay first, and then walk into a space where, like, 2 or 3 actors were set up. So at least in this one, you could access them better, to a degree. You could just walk through a room and stand right in front of any celebrity you wanted, and you could choose to pay to get a photo with them, to get an autograph, have them sign a paper, whatnot. So at least this one was more like Fanboy Expo, where the celebrities were right there. But unlike Knoxville Fanboy, they were very militant about don't take pictures or video without paying for it, pretty much. Yeah, and in fact, I think I'm going to try to leave it in. We're just walking down the row of actors, and yes, I zoomed in on an actor, and you can probably hear the volunteer telling me not to film. There was no signs that said we couldn't film. If it was in the program, I don't know where it was. Not like I read it, but it was so very rude and just in your face of, don't film unless they're like, excuse me? I didn't like that, and as Mom was saying, it almost feels like these guys are prostituting themselves. You have to pay to have a video of them or a picture of them or their signature. You can't just stand there and talk to an actor. You have to pay. Pay. And that's not cool. You're already having to pay a good amount to get in to this venue. And then you're having to pay more money just to, document you're meeting them. What? There was a lot of actors there I wanted to meet. I wanted to see. I wanted to, at least say hi to when we had buttons we were going to give to a bunch of them. I think Arthur Darvill was the only one we were able to get his button to. John Barrowman's line, I didn't even get to see him. Mom was like, oh yeah, I saw him taking pictures. His crowd was so big. I never saw John Barrowman. Jason Isaac says, you guys saw, I did get to his Q&A. Oh my god. And I'll talk about, when in that video, I'll hopefully have talked about my question with him. I think I mentioned it in the Pensa podcast, or vlog. Wow. Guys, by the way, I'm still on, shall we say, road lag. We only got home at like 11 o'clock last night. It is currently 3:30. Ooh, I need to change my computer back, by the way. Yeah, so we've been home for like 14 hours. I slept. Yeah, but I haven't unpacked or anything. I've been pretty much just working on this, so sorry if I seem a little woo out of it. Like I said, also kind of running on the emotions and the and the of this whole experience. Like I said, so thing is, I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, Um, let's just start from the beginning. When we first walked into, well, we first got to the venue, first of all, parking, if there was official parking, hell if I know, whereas there was VIP parking or, paid parking, I guess, other places. That was another thing. There wasn't a lot of places marked for parking, which is really annoying. We ended up finding a lot that was right there next to the cemetery that you guys have seen at the end of the Pensacon vlog. So, yes, Charles. Yes, so. I do. Heavily edited words. Sorry. That's sidebar. So we get there, we park, walk around. It wasn't that far. We've parked a lot farther for cons. It's about equal, maybe if not closer than we parked at Fanboy, so there was that. But we get there, and thankfully because it was the last day we went, I think we were behind 3 people to get our one Sunday pass. Plus paid $5 because they actually had extra 3-day pass lanyard cards that you could, buy, since it's just more of a commemorative than anything else, because, well, it's the last day. Which is weird, but I went ahead and bought one, because why not? So we get that, and we're like, okay, we can see that there is a set of doors right there behind those people, and we're like, okay, but it says exit only, or, like, VIP entrance, or special needs entrance, I forget what it said, but it's like, okay, wait, where do we go? And like, yeah, follow the crowd, go up the ramps, and go in the building. So, we went up, and I think if you guys, you might be able to see them in one of the other video clips I've got, but yeah, it's long, winding, ramp that you have to go outside the building, and then we had to go through security. I get it. I get why we need security after all these shootings and everything that's been going on. I understand the need for security. I completely get that. But I'll get to why that suck big ones in a minute. So, we get through security, and then we get inside, get booklets, get a program, run to the bathroom, and then, okay, we had a Q&A at 11. It was about 10:30-ish, and we look and say, okay, Brent Spiner's Q&A. Oh, it's at the Sanger Theater. Okay, where's it? Because it was, all of it was at the main building was the Pensacon Bay Civic Center. Like, so, stupid me assumed that most of the big stuff would be right there at the Civic Center. No. So, we're now upstairs, and we see signs that says, celebrities. So, we're like, okay. Well, I think, that's right. We saw the celebrity signs, went down, because, now you gotta go down some steps, like 2 flights of steps. It was windy as crap, which you might be able to see some of that footage, too. So, we go down these steps to where the celebrity hall is, because we're thinking, okay, it's gotta be down there, right? Because on my thing, it says something about 2nd floor. So I figured, oh, it's attached to the 2nd floor. No. We get down there, and they're like, oh, you need to go to Brent's thing, yes, Sanger Theater, you need to go out, down, through those doors, out the front, get on the trolley, and the trolley will take you there. I'm sorry, what? You're telling me that I need to go back out front, so I came inside for nothing. I had to walk all that, go through all that security to get a program book just to tell me to go right back out front where we started. Whoosa. Let me tell you, that was already really annoying. So then we board on this very cramped trolley. Actually, the first time wasn't so bad. The next couple times really sucked. So we get on this trolley, and we all go over to the Sanger Theater. Some people got on at another theater. No problem. Started getting a little cramped. But, so we get over to the Sanger Theater, and now we're all looking at our watches, because we're all going to Brent Spiner's Q&A. And it is like 10:55. And we're going, well, I hope Brent waits for us, because we've all been waiting for this trolley, and we can only go as fast as this trolley will let us go. So eventually we walk in, and as you see at the beginning of his Q&A, we literally walk in as they're introducing him. So if they told me not to film, I never heard them say it. So that's on them. Again, no one ever had any rules that posted anywhere that we weren't allowed to film or anything like that. Yeah, if you were there for the announcements, which I was for Jason's and some of the others, but Jason was the first one that I heard them say, yeah, no flash photography. I get that, because you don't want to blind these poor actors. But no filming. When we get to the Sanger Theater, and this is the part that started to irk me, and this was talking about, the trolley lets us off. Whew. There's a big rant in this whole thing. So the trolley lets us off at this one spot. And it was starting to rain a little bit, but they let us off, and we're all kind of looking at a doorway. And then look at a sign that says, to enter, you have to enter Palafox Street. What? So then we had to walk down about a block, walk down a street another block, to get in the theater. So, and then the starting to rain. Like, okay, I get it, that there's an entrance for one part and exit for another. But where they dropped us off at was not the entrance. They dropped us off near the exit. And they got on people to take them to the next location. But it really sucked, because for those of us who this was our first day of the con, had no idea what we were doing. I just happened to know the name of that street because we had been on it earlier. So we follow the crowd up to the door, go inside, and they're like, alright, yeah, you say, Brent, yep, go through these double doors, go straight in. And like, yeah, we better go straight in, because he's about to start, like, now. So that, and when we get into the Sanger Theater, we have to go through security again. So, once again, I have to open my purse. They look through it, make sure there's no weapons, and wand us down. Yeah, not only did our possessions get looked through, but we got wanded every time we entered a building. So, now I've been checked once for going in the main venue, and now for going into the Sanger Theater. Fun. It's like, exactly when was I going to get a weapon between being in the main venue, getting on the trolley, and now this theater? And I know they don't know where I've been, but still. Really? So we get in, we get out of the theater, jump back on the trolley. I was thinking, like, screw it, I was going to just stay there, go watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Q&A, because then after that was the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Jason's, and then we had a couple Q&As at another theater. But Mom's like, yeah, no, we need to get back to the main venue, go see some people, and eat. Because that's the other thing. I hadn't eaten yet. So, the trolley was, they were your classic boxcar trolleys. The seats were tiny. It was enough for 2 very skinny people, or like a person and a half. And like I was telling you, this con is not cosplay friendly. It is not your normal nerd size friendly. 80% of the congoers in that venue were big people like me. Really, nerds come in pretty much 2 sizes. I don't get out of my chair except for to get more food and go to the bathroom, or I have a high active metabolism and way too much energy, and this is the first time I've gotten out of my mama's basement. It's either the skinny little geeks or the big people. And when you're dealing with a majority of bigger people, having a tiny trolley to cart us back and forth was a bad idea. I think it's when we were going back to the venue, the main venue. Yeah, it was standing room only, and there was one guy who was in a seat by himself, and I was kind of trying to wedge next to him, but he didn't seem to want to move, so I kind of was leaning on the armrest of that seat while just holding on, while the people on either side of me, as the trolley is leaning, we're all leaning on each other. I'm pretty sure somebody's pregnant from that trolley ride now. No, I'm kidding. But with security, I mean, we walk through a doorway and through a metal detector. Now, if any of you have watched some of my previous con videos, I might even try to see if I've got my Anime Midwest ones. Some costumes are cumbersome. They are wide or tall or weird shapes. In fact, on the other doorway was a pyramid person. I mean, no joke. The person's costume was a triangle. It was a very thick triangle. Poor thing had to walk sideways to get in through the security. So it's not allowing us to wear cons just to get through security. Then when you actually get into the main building, they got like so whereas down they had the Hall of Celebrities, which you'll see on that video. But then upstairs in the main part, you go in, and there's where they got a bunch of artists and the vendors. It is your classic, Civic Center stadium thing. So you've got a bank of seats, and the main floor is where all the vendors are. Again, to get down there, you've got to walk down classic stadium steps. If you're wearing anything but normal clothes, your ass is tripping all down them steps. I was wearing, I don't have them nearby, but hopefully I'll show like a picture of my shoes here. And those shoes were not, I almost tripped, because they were not friendly for those types of steps. I never went down to the vendor section. We just went down into the seats to sit and eat before we rushed over to see the Guardians of the Galaxy panel. But yeah, it was not cosplay friendly. It was not plus size friendly. So that sucked. That was really annoying that we were having to fight the elements and the venues just to have a good time. Like I said, they was just so rude, and I just felt so guilty, and I just didn't want to be there. I mean, really, I think when the person went, you can't film unless you take a picture with the actor. I looked at Mom and said, I want to go home. I said, fuck this thing. So if it wasn't for the fact that Jason still got his Q&A, he's the only reason I'm really here, and he's the only reason I'm going to stay and see his Q&A and the other Q&As we've got. But this place can go straight to hell. Because really, was the only day I'd been here. I'm a vlogger. I make videos on YouTube. I document my experiences. If you tell me I can't document my experiences, then I don't want to be where you are. I don't want to be at your venue, at your event, if you won't allow me to do my job there. So now they've alienated cosplayers with cool costumes. They've alienated fluffies, and now they've alienated vloggers. So, all in all, it was not a friendly environment. It was not an inclusive environment. It was more shoving, hostile, anxiety-ridden environment. Okay, so for the Q&As, we went to the Guardians of the Galaxy Q&A. That was back in the Sanger, so me and Mom went back over to the Sanger. And, we went there, did the Guardians of the Galaxy. And here was the other fun thing. And I don't remember when they introduced him. I don't remember them saying who was who. So we had Palm, who played Mantis, and these two guys on either side of her. And I'm going, okay, who were they? Later on, I did find out they were two Ravagers. But we had to go back to the hotel, go to IMDb to see. So they had a screen with the Pensa logo. But it would have been nice for them, because as you guys might have seen, they got these posters behind each of the actors. It would have been nice for them to put those posters or pictures of the actors behind them just so we can go, oh, him. Because Tommy Flanagan, I would have known him from Brick in the Wall. I know I'd seen his name on the website, and I've seen his name on, on IMDb for Guardians, but could I have told you who he played in the movie? No. Can I still tell you who he played in the movie? No. So that kind of sucked. But so after Guardians of the Galaxy's Q&A was Jason's Q&A. But here's where it really pissed me off. Because they already, while we're in there, at the panel, a line was already forming outside for Jason's Q&A. So, unless you were a VIP member, you had to leave through one door, go, again, back around to the front, and get in the line that's already a mile long out there. So, that was really sucky. So, at that point, Mom went down the road to the little theater for a Doctor Who Q&A, where I stayed went in line for Jason's Q&A. So that was what really sucked. And I even asked them, okay, do I have to stay? And no, you gotta go back around. And so a bunch of us had to, go out, go around the corner, and get back in line. And it felt like the walk of shame. Because here we were just inside. And now we're having to get in the back of the line, get probably even worse seats than we had before. Because now we're, stuck in the back of the line because we were in another panel. So right there sucked that we are punished for, one, not getting a VIP, and two, wanting to go to more than one Q&A. So, and here's the weird fun part. So if you go to Pensacon's website and you click on Doctor Who, there's Camille, who played Jackie Tyler, with the eighth and ninth Doctor. And then there was Frederick Hines, I believe. I'm sorry if I butchered his name. He was with the third Doctor. There was Arthur Darvill, who was with Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor. And John Berman, who was also with the 8th and ninth. And sometime was sprinkled in there. I think that was it. So there was 4 people from Doctor Who at the con. Mom texted me as I was waiting for Jason's to start. She says, oh, yeah, it's just Camille and Mr. Hines. And I went, what? Where's Arthur and John? Don't know. So, already we got the obscure Doctor Who actors instead of the bigger names, which there wasn't when it also was Doctor Who Q&A, this time, this theater. They didn't bother to mention that it would only be half of the Doctor Who actors, not all 4 of them. So that was really shitty. So Joe said, hey, you want to come back over here and watch Jason? No, I'll stay. Because after Jason's Q&A and after the Doctor Who Q&A over at the little theater where Mom was the Galaxy Quest Q&A, which was just 2 of the Thermians. It was Jed Ross, who was also in Deadpool, and Patrick Breen, who was also in MIB. So I was happy to meet those 2 and see them. And Patrick Breen, oh my god, was adorable. I wasn't able to film. I think Mom might have filmed it, so I might get footage from her. But yeah, they were awesome, and it was worth it. But the little theater where they were did not have security, or at least they didn't check me when I went in. It's like, wait, but I walked from the Sanger to the little theater. How do you know I didn't pick up a knife in between there? Yeah. And the other problem I had was there was alcohol involved. And, yeah, there was people drinking in front of us. And when we went back from the little theater over to the main venue, we were spread out. We were stuck on either side of 2 very drunk girls. In fact, still had their cup in hand and was still drinking. Mom has a very low tolerance for the smell of alcohol from an old experience. And I'm not exactly a fan of the smell, especially of beer. So that was fun. I got pretty much a little secondhand buzz off of them. That's how drunk they were. So again, we also have, we're forcing people to be around people who are not exactly, sober. So if anybody's got an AA issue, you also shouldn't come to PensaCon because you're going to be around people who are drinking and you're going to feel tempted to be drinking too. So now we've alienated interesting cosplayers, or at least we've squelched your creativity in being a cosplayer. We've now alienated fluffy people because, God forbid, you actually want to sit comfortably and not in a stranger's lap. Now we've alienated social media people who record and document their lives, and now we've alienated former alcoholics because they're surrounded by people who are drinking. So, yeah. It was funny. Before anything else had happened, when we were just in the bathroom and already had dealt with climbing up the ramps and a very windy ramp, getting very hot and very cold all at the same time, Mom said, well, at least there's a silver lining to this. And I'm like, Jason Isaacs is here? Because right now, that's my only silver lining, is I'm in the same building with John Barrowman, Jason Isaacs, and a few other cool people. She goes, no, we decided not to do the 3-day passes. Yeah, so that's pretty bad when, before anything else happened, our main silver lining was we didn't waste our money with being there 3 days. We only lucked out and only did 1 day. Now, partly I kind of wish we had done at least more than 1 day, because after the Galaxy Quest panel, the Q&A, we went ahead and just went back to the hotel. So we never got to see John Barrowman, because Mom was supposed to get a picture with him. Never got to do that. We never got to finish handing out the buttons, including I wanted to give Jason his. And that was one thing when we first went through the venue, before we went to Jason's Q&A. We went through this lovely little tunnel of love, tunnel of Hobbiton, which you'll see in that. Hopefully you've already seen it. He wasn't at his table. They're like, oh, he'll be back at 1:30. It's like, by then I'll be, heading towards his Q&A. So, and that was the other thing, is there was a lot of, not exactly empty tables, but a lot of tables that only had people in orange shirts at them. The celebrities were not at them, whether they were at their Q&As, at their photo ops, or if they were just away for smoke break or lunch break. So, that was also a problem. Hey, guess what? This thing has a 30-minute limit. I just learned that. Sorry, guys. So this one is going to be a long one, because I've got still a few more rants to go on. One of the other things that kind of bothered me and made me feel sorry for the actors more than anything is where they had a lot of them placed. Some of them were out in the hallway. Jason was in the hallway. Lou Ferrigno was out in the hallway. Arthur and John Barrowman and John Barrowman's sister Carol, they were just in a hallway. And then a bunch of them, if you go down through that lovely, the Hobbit tunnel, as I call it, then you go through a bank of small meeting rooms. And like they had the cast of Fright Nights, because there was quite a few of them, they had their own room. The cast of Land of the Lost and very old 70s show, 60s, 70s show, they had their own room. But like I went and saw Danny Tamborelli again, and I got him to sign, which I'll show you guys later. But in the room where he was, there was also Deep Roy, which, if you don't know who Deep Roy is, I'm sorry for you. He's done everything. If nothing else, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Johnny Depp version, the guy who played all those Oompa Loompas, yeah, he was there. There was the voice of Gurr, Deep Roy, I think there might have been somebody else. Danny Tamborelli and Michael, they both played Pete and Pete, so they were together at a table. Christopher Judge, who played Teal'c in SG-1, and I forget, there was like 1 or 2 other people in that room. Mind you, we're talking about like a small meeting room, about the size of a regular hotel room. And they're all in this one little cramped room, but the only line and the only people who were in there for an autograph or anything were for Danny and Mike. Nobody else. I mean, like we talked to Christopher Judge and was kind of looking at his table because we did watch SG1, and wow, him with hair on his head and on his face was weird. It was cool seeing him, but I was there for Danny, and it feels very awkward that, like, especially you're in a line to go to one person, and you got all these other people on either side of you, and either you're going, yeah, I know who you are, but you're too expensive for me, or I know who you are and I really don't like you, or any stuff like that, or I have no freaking clue who you are or what you've done, and what? You're who? From where? Huh? So there were some of those people too. I felt bad. There was one actor, and I'm just kind of, we're walking through the hallways and through the rooms, and I'm just looking at all these celebrities sitting in their tables, some with people in front of them, some not. And I saw this one guy, I'm like, he kind of looks familiar. Look up at the banner that has highlight pictures on it, and I was like, oh, that's him. And I felt so bad because I seriously was like, oh, hi. I just kept walking. I'm just like, he plays Tom Paris in Voyager, Star Trek Voyager. And I just, like, I felt so bad kind of looking at him going, who are you? Oh, you're him. You weren't one of my favorite characters, so I don't care. So it's very awkward if you're especially only there for one person, or you're there for a few people, but you're trying to find out where your favorite celebrity is, and you're walking past people that, meh. I mean, I saw John Delancey. He was just standing there talking to somebody. He was literally standing right next to me. I could have hit him. Brent Spiner's table was right next to him. One point we were just walking down the hallway, and Chris Sarandon, if you guys probably know, Princess Bride, he was Prince Humperdinck. He's the voice of Jack Skellington. He was in several episodes of Orange is the New Black. But he walks past with his, people, and I'm just like, hitting Mom. It's like, he just walks right past me. I'm just like, la. He is my king. Jack Skellington. So, I mean, he actually wasn't as tall as I thought. I thought he was, like, tall. But he was maybe, like, 5'10", if that. So, it was one weird thing. Like, yeah, some of the celebrities were not behind their tables, but it's just very awkward when you're walking past people because either A, they're too expensive, you can't afford to even look at them, much less, get a picture or autograph with them, or you don't know who they are, or you don't like them. Now, thankfully, this con didn't have any celebrities that I was like, oh, you can go straight to hell, like I did at Fanboy Expo. I'm not going to say who it was at Fanboy Expo that I didn't like, but you might have been able to get the hint. He's the person I didn't want to even be the same area with. But for the most part, it was just people I didn't know who they were. I mean, I knew Jason. I knew Danny. There was the green/silver Power Ranger there. There was two other Power Rangers there, and the guy who actually played the big face in the tube. I saw him at a glance. I never saw the other two Power Rangers. They were probably at those empty tables or in a room I just never went in. And that's the really crappy thing. As far as I know, there was nothing in the pamphlet to tell me where to find all these different people. I just pretty much like, let's go down this tunnel and find out who's down here. And boom, the first thing you see is a table that says Jason Isaacs, except for, he's not here. And actually somebody walking away and like, he'll be back at 1:30. Yeah, and I'll be somewhere else at 1:30. So there was a lot of problems at this con. Like I said, they alienated. They can alienate certain types of people by their actions that they do. And like I said, I get security. I get that you need it. But find a better way to do it. Plus, having it in multiple venues requires more security and more embarrassment that they've got to go through my purse where my pads are. Thanks so much. So that alone was just annoying. The positives, the pros to this con. I got to finally get Danny Tamborelli's autograph. I got to talk to him a little bit, actually talking to him and Mike, and getting a pin for their podcast, which I will be sure to link below. Go check out the old boys of Pete and Pete, Danny Tamborelli and Michael Maserati, I think. No, not something like that. Sorry, Mike. But check out their podcast below. So I talked to them a little bit, and I said, yeah, because I was just making fun of Mike, and I was like, yeah, just when Danny's like, big brothers, you know how they are. I left mine behind in Indiana. And we started talking, I was like, wait, so you live in Indiana? It's like, well, no, I used to live in Indiana. My brother's there now. So I saw you in Knoxville, and he goes, oh, so you live in Knoxville? I said, actually, no, I live outside of Charlotte, but, we came down here, and I said, heck, I'd rather live here. So if you guys want to come, just come out here to Pensacola. We'll all live here together, have a nice little redhead commune. Like, oh, yeah, well, let's do that. So I might have talked Danny and Mike into moving to Florida. Then they're going to have to convince me to move to Florida. So that was fun. And getting to see 3 actors from Guardians of the Galaxy and going to a Q&A and laughing with them. And getting to see Jason Isaacs. And, by the way, guys, and I'll probably mention it. Hopefully I have mentioned it. Because I'm recording this while I got other stuff. Editing. Exporting. But, yeah, Jason's, even though, like I said, a lot of them were saying beforehand, no flash photography, no live streaming, no videoing, stuff like that. And the guy said that before Jason's panel, but, of course, everyone's like, we're bringing our camera back out as soon as you go away and Jason comes out. But I love how he dealt with it. He goes, okay, look. And as you guys saw a bit, I'm just a middle-aged man in a crumpled shirt. I'm just going to stand here and talk to you guys. You don't need to take pictures. You don't need to video it. It's just me and you having a conversation. He's like, I want to see you. Not your camera, not your phone. I want to talk to you. So he said 20 seconds, take as many pictures as you want. And that's when he did his little turn on the catwalk, which I've videoed. And really, and after that, I think a few people were still taking pictures and video. But for the most part, we all respected it. And one of the things I've talked to, and I've seen a lot of other vloggers talk about, is sometimes you got to put down the camera, and instead of documenting the moment, just be in the moment. So it's like, you know what? Jason's the main reason I'm here. So I'm just going to film what he told me to film and put it away. Stood there in his Q&A line and watched him. Spent time with him. Not trying to fidget with my camera. Not trying to, crap, now I gotta switch cameras. Because, well, actually that one died and I had the other one just ready for him. But I realized I didn't want to hold you guys, especially when I was in the Q&A line and he told us not to film. But really, I just wanted to be in the moment. And, in a room focusing only on Lucius Malfoy and the thousands of other movies he's been in. But I really just wanted to spend the time with him and not have to involve you guys. Sorry, it was a private moment. No kidding. I wish. So, like I said, so that was a good thing. Got to see Jason. And, oh my god, the Guardians of the Galaxy Q&A was hilarious. Those two were the best. And Patrick Breen, he said this was his first con. He never done any of these conventions before. He never did a Q&A panel, so this was his first Q&A. And I mean, he almost looked like his character from Guardians of the Galaxy, because he was just smiling half the time and just looking out at everybody, making eye contact with every person in the audience. He was so funny and so cute. But yeah, that was awesome. Those were the fun things. Actually being in the Q&A panels and the few interactions I got to have with some celebrities was amazing. To get to those interactions and dealing with the whole thing and the cost of it wasn't cool. But in the end, it was worth it. I got to experience a lot of other things in Pensacola, as you guys will have seen. Getting to be on the beach and seeing all that, experiencing 80-degree weather, which is close to that in my house right now. I mean, that our lows out in Florida were the highs out here. I mean, come on. So yeah, that was fun. Being in Florida was fun. Getting to go to Talladega was a lot of fun. And I told Mom we've been making a lot of notes. I will be contacting Fanboy Expo and thanking them for going to cons like this and making sure that like that doesn't happen. Why am I editing? I don't monetize anymore. But yeah, I think, and oh my god, I swear, the guy who was our MC at Fanboy Expo, the one in the really funky suit, I swear I saw him there. And he said he lives in New Orleans, so I'm pretty sure he was there. So actually I was kind of hoping he was there, and I want to talk to him about it. But I said, it was a lot of fun, and in the end, it was worth it. There was just a lot of stupidity, and like I said, I want to talk to Fanboy and just be like, thank you for not having a stick up your ass like them. But wow, this thing is going on really long. So hopefully I'm going to edit some of this out. If not, I hope you enjoy this really long rant. And if you are thinking about hosting a convention, research. Don't be a dick. If you get celebrities, great. But tell them to be a little bit more nicer to the people who are there to see them. Don't charge a buttload, and be okay with wanting to just talk to a fan and them not spend any money with you. I mean, really. It's just the little things that make our con-going experience the best. Being able to just stand there and talk to the guy who was the puppeteer for Yoda, and talking to him about, Star Wars rumors from back in the day, or just talking about British stuff, or talking about Jim Henson. That was amazing. We never gave him money. We didn't get an autograph with him. We didn't get pictures with him. But it was just fun just to stand there and every now and then let somebody, do their thing and then get back into the conversation. That was fun. When we were talking to Arthur Darvill, a couple people came up and I felt like the volunteer was just kind of like, move along, poor people. Leave him alone. Let him, we need the money. I didn't like that. Like I said, and I didn't like being told, don't film, when no one ever told me we couldn't film. So yeah, there was ups and downs. And if you're one of the few celebrities that, because I might send you guys some of these on Twitter, thank you for coming to PensaCon. But like I said, be more approachable. That would be great. Be more available to be able to be approached. Understand that some of us spent what little money we had to be able to travel to the con and to pay for the con and, food and whatnot, and to give you $80 for a photo and or autograph is just not in our budget. I mean, heck, I gave Danny $20 for him to sign the thing I had him sign. That's not cool. Please don't be a prostitute. We're here because we love you and we already spend money on your DVDs and merchandise. Understand that maybe we don't have enough money to give you, to just scribble your name on something. I can find that on eBay. Be cool with us putting a camera in your face and not wanting to give you money for it. Yeah. I mean, I love you guys, and I thank you for your time. But maybe be a little more approachable for those of us who took our time and money to come and see you. Yeah. Anyway, for you who are not celebrities, you should be one because you're all awesome. Sorry for this one being really long, but this is kind of something that just really needed to get out there. And I couldn't just do it as a podcast. It really needed to be a video for us to show some of the stuff that's been going on. But yeah, I will, hopefully this should be the last of the, Pensacola trip video. Hope you enjoyed watching all those, and Jason Isaacs, if you do end up watching this and you're still here at the end, call me. Kidding. He's married. I'm not into that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Love to all. Peace in the world. Bye.